Lando Norris just held off Max Verstappen to make the perfect start to his 2025 F1 World Championship Challenge, impressively winning a chaotic season-opening Australian Grand Prix featuring on-off rain and numerous crashes. Norris, the pre-season title favourite, had led the majority of the 58 laps from teammate Oscar Piastri at a slippery and blustery Albert Park at Melbourne as McLaren's qualifying dominance transferred into a rain-hit race, but his win appeared in jeopardy when the return of the wet weather for the closing 15 lap triggered chaos. Both McLarens briefly slid off the track in the final sector, but while Norris successfully rounded the next turn, immediately headed to the pits for inters, while favourite Piastri spun into the grass and dropped to the back of the field. World champion Verstappen, who had lost touch with McLaren by 16 seconds in the middle of the race, having initially overtaken Piastri on his first lap before a subsequent error let the Australian back through briefly, inherited the lead for Red Bull, pitted for intermediates 2 laps later as the rain intensified. After a third in race safety car, Verstappen finished on Norris' tail, closing but couldn't find his way past. And yeah, that's one of the great all-time drives from Lando Norris there, said Martin Brundle after his win. George Russell took third for Mercedes to earn a podium, and looked like Ian Anthony recovered from a disappointing Q1 to be reinstated to 4th place after a penalty for an unsafe release was overturned. A hugely impressive job from him. Alex Albon was 5th, a great job from him as well, but after submitting a right review request, Mercedes got that position back. 5th though for Albon, still represented Williams' best results since 2021, but it proved to be a tough day for Lewis Hamilton, who frustrated and had finished with a single point in his first run in for Ferrari. Running in his qualifying position of 8th for most of the race was characterised with discussion with his new race engineer Riccardo Domi, where the Italian spoke to him on the radio about what Hamilton wanted. Hamilton briefly found himself in the lead, but had to pit for intermediates, with Ferraris trying to stay out and rolling the dice just didn't quite pay out. But yeah, he passed by Norris and Ferrari realised they had to pit. Charles Leclerc took 8th, passing Hamilton at the end, who spun after Leclerc spun, allowing the Brits to get in front of him. While Fernando Alonso crashed out to cause the race second of 3 safety cars, Lance Stroll kept it on the road to finish a strong 6th for Aston, the Canadian's first point since last July, matching his best finish from last year as well. Hulkenberg meanwhile took an unexpected 7th on debut for Sauber, his best result, their best results for almost 3 years, and yeah, more points than they got in the whole of last year. But Anthony aside, it proved to be a tough day for the rookie. Isaac Hadjar crashed on his maiden F1 race on the formation lap, and yeah, sent him crying, but after had a classy moment with Anthony Hamilton, Lewis's father, in the paddock on the way back to the garage. Jack Doohan then hit the wall within 6th corner of the race started, while Bortoletto and Liam Lawson endured spin-outs later. Oliver Bearman did finish after a weekend in which he spun and crashed out of both practice sessions, but as with Alonso, the conditions were also capable of catching out established names. Carlos Sainz's winning debut ended inside 1 lap when he hit the final corner despite being under safety car conditions. After winning the first Royal Grand Prix of the season, Verstappen admitted he couldn't quite match Norris and McLaren's pace this year, and they looked brutally fast when they were in clear air. And yeah, Norris initially enjoyed a small lead. Piastri then was able to get past Verstappen when he made a mistake, and they just pulled away. But Alonso causing that red flag, and then the rain that came later did cause some chaos. It was a tough one. Norris said, "We got it wrong last year, but he's pleased they learned from their mistakes to come through and yeah, get the win." So yeah, they'll be absolutely delighted with that. And yeah, I think with that, without the rain, without the chaos at the end, they would have won by an even bigger margin. So hugely impressive job done by McLaren, and Piastri will be ruining that mistake because that is advantage to Norris even this early on in the championship battle. But moving on to Lewis Hamilton, in his words, it was more of a cash caution driving Ferrari in the rain. It was very tricky, and when a lot worse than I wanted it to go, said Hamilton. The car was really, really hard to drive. For me, I'm just grateful to keep it out of wall because that's where it wanted to go most of the time. Hamilton admitted there was a lot to go through after he and Riccardo Adami had appeared to grow increasingly frustrated over the radio as the race developed. I think Riccardo did a really good job, said Hamilton. We're learning bit by bit. After this, we'll we'll go through the comments, things I said, and vice versa. Generally, I'm not one that likes information in race unless I ask for it. He did his best today, and we'll move forward. So yeah, just fixing the teething issues. And before I go, let's go through the final classification. Lando Norris getting a win. Great job from him under such tough conditions. Maybe the race he wouldn't have won a few years ago, but yeah, great job from him. Verstappen second, really good job from him as well. I think yeah, maximising the results. Similar second except for Russell, and Antonelli, a brilliant recovery on debut. Yeah, that's really, really impressive from him. Moving on into Alexander Albon, and yeah, great job from him as well. That's an incredible result for Williams. Similar as it can be said about Stroll and Hulkenberg. Stroll especially after a tough end to the season. So yeah, great job from him. Leclerc in 8th. yeah, Ferrari just messed up. I get they had to risk it, but I think it's just about over the top, taking so much risk. So yeah, disappointing from them. And Piastri as well, gutted for him because he drove a great race and points at faster than Norris, but just couldn't deliver. Hamilton we've touched on as well. Still early teething issues. I think he'll be relatively happy. He wasn't too far off Leclerc this early on, but disappointing. At least it's a point for him. Gasly in 11th, Tsunoda 12th. Yeah, I think they'll be seeing it as a big missed opportunity. Haas made the wrong decisions and got a really slow car, really tough for them. But at least both cars made it to the end, especially Behrman after a nightmare weekend. But Lawson and Bortoleto seemed like he had damage when he crashed. Maybe that was part of it or was caused by the crash. Who knows? Alonso as well, Sainz, the two Spanish drivers. I think they'll be disappointed, crashing out, being so experienced and having the chance to get some decent points. And then Dylan and Hadjar, especially Dylan, they say with so much pressure on him, gutted for them to crash out so early on. So that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.